Good evening, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team, and we do have a weather impact alert in effect for Thursday and Friday here in Metro Atlanta and North Georgia as we are watching the impacts from now Hurricane Francine. The system was upgraded with the 8 o'clock advisory tonight from the National Hurricane Center from a tropical storm to a hurricane. We had been expecting it to be upgraded pretty much all day, but it took a little while for that upgrade to happen. It's now up to 75-mile-an-hour winds. Now, we are here in Metro Atlanta and North Georgia. The hurricane is still pretty much off the Texas coast there in the Gulf of Mexico. We're already seeing some outlying impacts from this system, and that is with the cloud cover that has been increasing in our area here tonight during the late afternoon and evening hours. For much of the day, we had a lot of sunshine around, but then during the late afternoon, we started watching that leading edge of clouds coming in from the south and west, moving in over the metro area. Now that cloud shield is moving up into North Georgia. You see more of those clouds down into central Georgia, South Georgia, over into Alabama. And then once you get down along the Gulf Coast, that's where we start seeing some of the rain that is pushing in again from the south and west. Now, this is still some convection well out from the center of the circulation. That is still down here. You can kind of see that center of circulation right here where we're beginning to see a little bit better of an eye developing there. That is just off the coast of Texas and is continuing to move to the north and the east. And you see all the rain in association with that system, in association right there with it here in Texas. And then a lot of that convection, a lot of that moisture moving up along the Gulf Coast region. So here is what we're watching with the latest advisory that was issued at 8 o'clock tonight. It has been upgraded to a hurricane with winds of 75 miles an hour. That is just at a Category 1 hurricane, and it's moving to the northeast at about 10 miles an hour. We expect that forward speed to pick up a little bit overnight and during the day tomorrow, and we most likely will have landfall tomorrow late afternoon, we're thinking, and this hurricane track from the National Hurricane Center is showing it as a Category 1 with 90-mile-an-hour winds. There are a lot of scenarios out there right now that we're watching. Number one, the warm water here in the Gulf of Mexico could, could help that storm to get a little bit stronger, or maybe some more intensification with it. But at the same time, we're watching some shear near land that could help keep it as a Category 1. So I know yesterday we were thinking a Category 2, and now today thinking more of a Category 1, but it could go back and forth as a strong Category 1 or maybe a low-end Category 2. So that's what we're going to be watching during the day tomorrow. I'm going to pinpoint those watches and warnings for you in just a minute here along the Louisiana coastline and the tropical storm warnings that extend to the Alabama coast. We'll take a closer look at that in a second. But I want to show you the rest of the track. As the system moves up toward the north here, it will be just the remnants there. It'll be a tropical depression and then just a remnant low pushing up to the north. But this is what I want you to notice. Excuse me. We talked about this tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock. When this first advisory came out at 5, and then it was just upgraded to a hurricane at 8, the track has moved a little bit more to the east. And if you've been watching us over the past couple of days, we've been showing you that track that was pretty much taking the remnants up the Mississippi River right here. Now that track has shifted a little bit over to the east and a little bit closer to Georgia. Now, I know it's not a big shift, but we have been noticing those trends in our computer models, and now the Hurricane Center is using it in their forecast track as well. And if that trend continues, it moving a little bit more to the east, that would increase some of the impacts that we're going to have here in Georgia and also in the Metro Atlanta area. So the farther west it is, the fewer impacts we would have, but the more east it goes and closer to Georgia, that means that we could see more impacts here. So let's break down what we're watching out there right now. Based on the current track, this is a look at some of the impacts that we're watching. Number one, it's going to be rain. We're also watching the wind, and we're also watching the storm risk. Let's start with the rain first. We're expecting potentially 1 to 3 inches of rain from Thursday through Saturday. When we see that rain in association with Francine moving into our area. Again, every day We're going to be fine-tuning these impacts for you, but this is based on what we're seeing right now. The wind, we're expecting on Thursday, wind gusts between 20 and potentially up to 35 miles an hour. With some stronger winds over to Alabama and into Mississippi. We're also watching the storm risk. Right now, the threat for widespread severe weather or even any tornadoes, that is on the low end. But remember, if that track comes even a little bit closer to us, we may have to increase that storm risk. Whenever you have a landfalling tropical system and you're on the right-hand side of the track of the storm, you have to watch for the potential for some storms to come along there with it. As you see those outer bands coming in and those bands move in over land, sometimes it could develop some rotation there. So these are the things that we're watching. But as of now, we think that storm risk is on the lower end. Here is a closer look at those tropical alerts that we have along the Gulf Coast region. What you see in red here is a hurricane warning that's in effect for a big part of the coast of Louisiana. The pink outline that you see here that goes up to New Orleans and around Lake Pontchartrain there, that's where we have a hurricane watch in effect. The blue color that is closer to the Texas coast and then through New Orleans and the southern coast of Mississippi and the southern coast of Alabama, that is a tropical storm warning. That has also been shifted a little bit more to the east as well to include the Alabama coastline. And they could see, even though we think the hurricane will be over more to the central coast of Louisiana, they could still see tropical storm force winds from New Orleans over to the Mississippi coast and also the Alabama coast. So let's take a look at the rain comparison that we have in our models. And these models, excuse me, have been going back and forth. Earlier, the American model was showing more than 2 inches of rain. It's now down to about 1 1/3 inches, maybe 1.5 inches up toward Duluth, close to 1.5 inches up around Gainesville. The European model yesterday was showing more than 4 inches of rain possible. And then earlier today, when a new model run came in, it was showing less than 1 inch. Now, the European model is back up to more than 2 inches here in Atlanta, with some areas even 3 to 4+ inches of rain. So this really illustrates the uncertainty that we have with this system, how much rain it's going to generate, how strong the system's going to be, the exact track, and also the speed of the forward motion of the storm too. So we're really just having to look at these every day as guidance. What you see here is not necessarily exactly what's going to happen, but it's just interesting that we watch the trends with these models showing that they're not in agreement at all. So again, we're hoping we can fine tune this more as the system gets closer, and once it moves inland, we may have a better idea of just how much rain it is going to be spreading to our area. Let's also talk about the wind. All right, it's going to be close enough to us. Again, the center of the storm over near the Mississippi River and moving through central parts of Mississippi. It'll be close enough to us to spread some wind our way. During the day on Wednesday, we have the clouds that are already here over us. They're going to be thickening up during the day. We're going to go with a low chance for a shower later on Wednesday, but it will be on Wednesday when we start seeing those winds that'll be picking up just a little bit more. Now, sustained winds, we're thinking 8 to 12 miles an hour, maybe up to 15-mile-an-hour winds there. But the gusts would be around 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Now, again, that's not a constant 20-mile-an-hour wind. It's just rather breezy. Then every once in a while, you might get a wind up to around 20 miles an hour. Look how the wind speeds, though, increase during the day on Thursday as the system continues moving up to the north, over to the west of us. We can see some wind gusts here in metro Atlanta, maybe 20 to 30+ miles an hour here. Lighter winds over toward Athens and Eatonton, but then look over in West Georgia, Carrollton, you can see wind gusts near 40 miles an hour on Thursday afternoon, and then going over into Alabama, some of those wind gusts 35, 40+ miles an hour there too. So wind is not going to be a huge issue. I don't think we're going to have widespread power outages or anything, but when you get wind gusts, 20 to 35 miles an hour, it could bring down a weak tree that could fall on a power line. There could be some sporadic power outages, but not like the power outages that we have had with other landfalling systems that have had more of a direct path into our area or maybe just to the west of us. So I just want you to be aware of that. Breezy conditions starting a little bit on Wednesday, then getting stronger here for Thursday. And then also on Friday, we'll have some gusty conditions, but we think the winds will die down a little bit more here for your Friday afternoon. What about our severe weather threat? On Wednesday, that threat is mainly going to be along the Gulf Coast region. Now remember, we're thinking that the center of the hurricane will come in this area here. So it's really the right-hand side of the track where we see the strongest part of the system. So the level 2 risk includes much of eastern Louisiana, including New Orleans, southern parts of Mississippi, southern Alabama, and extending over part of the Florida panhandle here where there's that level 2 of 5 risk for severe storms, and some of those outer bands as the system moves inland could cause some rotation that could have some tornadoes there with it. You'll notice the level 1 risk does extend up a little bit more to the north of that. Then during the day on Thursday, again, this is based on the current track, we just think we'll have general showers here, maybe some bands with thunder and lightning, but right now our severe weather threat is very low, including the tornado threat that is very low. However, over into Alabama, again, the Florida Panhandle, parts of Mississippi, there's a level 1 of 5 risk there. As the storm moves northward, it is possible on that right-hand side, there could be some strong, severe storms with it, maybe some rotation that could develop some tornadoes. Now, with that track shifting a little bit to the east, I'm going to be interested to see if the Storm Prediction Center is going to try to push that level 1 risk a little bit more to the east too. So that's what we're going to be watching here for tomorrow for the day on Thursday. So here's the timeline of what we're watching with our forecast track. We already have some clouds that have been moving in over us, and those are going to be thickening up for the rest of the evening tonight. And then during the day tomorrow, we're going to have a pretty good overcast over us. Maybe not as many breaks in those clouds to give us much sunshine at all. I'm thinking low temperatures are going to hold in the lower 80s during the day. We may have a couple of showers late on Wednesday trying to move up from the south, but I really think most of us will be rain-free on Wednesday. It's going to be Wednesday night, overnight into Thursday when we see more of that rain moving in. Here you can see just kind of spotty showers moving in at any time during the day. I don't think it's going to rain constantly all day long, just going to be some off and on showers. And then at times, some of those could be moderate to heavy. That's at lunchtime. In the afternoon, again, some scattered showers around, but look at some of those bands over into Alabama. That's what we have to watch for, those pockets of heavy rain and that strong storm threat. And then during the evening hours on Thursday and early on Friday, we'll see some other pockets of strong storms there. Again, some of those could be strong as they move in. And then as that system continues moving up to the north slowly, we'll see some showers tapering off later Friday and into Saturday. But we'll still hold on to some rain chances here. Here's the look at the European model showing that main part of the storm moving up to the Gulf Coast region. To the right of that, we see more of that rain. You can see how it covers us up in a big part of the southeast on Thursday and Friday. And then on Saturday, some showers lingering, even though we think the rain chance is going to be a little bit lower there. And then, excuse me, even on Sunday, some scattered showers that'll be with us too, and a couple of those lingering into Monday too. And then watch this, we have another area of low pressure that we think is going to be developing off the coast of North and South Carolina. Right now, the Hurricane Center, they'll be keeping a close eye on that, but nothing really, for sure about that. But that could bring in more rain there along the North Carolina coast. It looks like we would be on the drier side of that system if, in fact, it develops. So here's another thing that we're watching. That system off the coast of North Carolina isn't being outlooked yet. We still have these two systems in the Atlantic. The one in yellow, just a 30% chance of developing in the central Atlantic. The one a little further out over to the east has a 40 to 80% chance of developing over the next 2 to 7 days. Again, something we'll watch. I will tell you that the models are showing it curving away from the United States if it develops, but of course, we'll keep you posted on that. So we do have the weather impact alert in effect for Thursday and Friday due to the rain, due to the wind, due to the storm threat in our area. Wednesday is going to be just a day with more increasing clouds, temperatures up to around 81 degrees, temperatures down into the 70s Thursday and Friday. Those are the higher rain chances, though, for both Thursday and Friday. Showers lingering into Saturday and Sunday. 50% chance Saturday, 40% chance Sunday. And then going down to a 20% chance here for Monday and on Tuesday, with temperatures creeping back up into the low and even some mid-80s. So another look at what we're watching here. There's our weather wow moment that I showed earlier on air. But here's another look at that. You can see the clouds that are building in now, the rain not far behind. We'll see the rain coming in mainly late Wednesday into Thursday, and then continuing to watch the system in the Gulf that is getting a little bit stronger. Keep it with us here at 11 Alive. We'll have more updates for you. Complete coverage coming up at 11 on 11 Alive News. We'll talk later.